You've done the physical therapy, the chiropractic care, the acupuncture, and the injections. You followed every order your doctor gave you at all costs, and yet you are still in pain. And the most frustrating part, nobody can tell you why. If that's you, then stay with me, because what I'm about to share completely changed my life, and it might just change yours. My name is Amari Dior. I'm a kinesiologist and certified pain reprocessing practitioner trained at the Pain Psychology Center in Beverly Hills. But before any of that, I was a chronic pain warrior, just like you. In 2017, a wall came crashing down on top of me at the mall. What started as an acute injury turned into 4 years of chronic back, neck, and pelvic pain. I had positive test results, I did every treatment, and nothing worked until I discovered why. Today, I'm going to give you the answer that took me 4 years and a complete career pivot to find. Today, that might shock you. Researchers at the University of Colorado conducted a randomized clinical trial known as the Boulder Back Pain Study, published in JAMA Psychiatry in 2021. 151 adults, all suffering from chronic back pain, real people in real pain. They divided the participants into 3 groups. One group received PRT, or pain reprocessing therapy, a psychological treatment focused on the brain's role in chronic pain. The second group received placebo treatment, and the third group continued with usual care, like standard treatments that you've all tried. Here's what they found 1 year later. The usual care group, only 10% became pain-free. That's physical therapy, chiropractic care, etc. The placebo group, 20%, and the PRT group, 66% pain-free or nearly pain-free, and most of them held that result for a year later. The researchers even had the brain scan to prove it. That's what got me. MRI trial showed that pain reprocessing regions of the brain, including the anterior insula, had quieted significantly after treatment. So if you're sitting here feeling like a failure because nothing has worked for you, you are not the problem, and you're not unlucky. The approach just hasn't matched the actual cause of your pain yet. Now, I want to be fair here, because physical therapy, chiropractic care, and acupuncture and injections aren't bad treatments. They absolutely have their place. Here's the distinction that matters. Our bodies are remarkably good at healing themselves. Minor injuries, stress injuries, sprains, with proper care, most of these resolve within 3 to 6 months. That's what those treatments are designed to support, the body's natural healing process. But here's what the research shows. If you're still in significant pain after 3 to 6 months of usual care, it's very likely that your body has already done its job. It's healed. What hasn't changed is what's happening in your brain and the nervous system. And in other cases, your doctor may have found what they call abnormal results on your scan, a degenerative disc, bulging disc, scoliosis, arthritis, and pointed to those as a cause of your pain, especially when no clear accident or injury can explain your symptoms. But here's what pain science reveals. Those findings don't cause pain in everyone who has them. A 2015 study on asymptomatic subjects, people with zero back pain, found that 27% of them had disc protrusions on their MRI, 52% of them had disc bulges, and overall 64% of people with absolutely no back pain had at least one degenerative disc abnormality. Researchers concluded that these are often just normal age-related changes, not the cause of your suffering. So if a bulging disc causes pain, why are 52% of pain-free people walking around with one? Because a scan can show you what's in your body, it cannot tell you what your brain is doing with that information. So, all pain, literally all pain, originates in the brain. Now, before you click away, hear me clearly. I am not saying that your pain isn't real. Your pain is 1000% real. Mine was too, with results to back it up. What I'm saying is that the brain is the author of your pain experience, and when you're dealing with chronic pain, that author has gotten stuck in a loop. So here's how it works. Your brain's #1 job is to keep you alive. It's constantly scanning for threats, physical, yes, but also emotional, mental, and social. Loss of relationship, financial stress, a job that's slowly crushing you, these are all threats to your survival and well-being in the brain's eyes. And when it detects danger in any of these areas, it sends a signal. Sometimes that signal is anxiety, sometimes it's fatigue, and sometimes it's pain. Dr. John E. Sarno, his career showing that repressed emotions and unresolved stress are major drivers of physical pain symptoms. The brain doesn't separate "I hurt my back" from "I'm overwhelmed at work" or "I've been holding everything together for years and I'm exhausted." It processes all of it as potential threat and it responds accordingly. Now here's where chronic pain gets its grip. Through a function called predictive processing, your brain learns patterns. It takes your past experiences, your beliefs, your emotions, and uses them to predict future danger. Once it has learned that a certain movement, position, or situation is associated with pain, it will fire that pain alarm preemptively as protection, even if the injury has healed, even if there is nothing structurally wrong, even if you are completely safe. This is called neuroplastic pain. Your brain has formed a habit of sounding the alarm, not because it's broken, but because it has learned to. And when your nervous system stays in that state so long, it becomes hypersensitive. It starts misinterpreting neutral things as threats. A certain chair triggers a flare. Stress at work brings on a migraine. Your pain moves around, changes with your mood, gets worse when life gets hard. This is not a coincidence. That is your brain in overdrive, trying to protect you from the dangers it has learned, rightly or wrongly, to fear. Then there's what Alan Gordon calls the pain-fear cycle. You feel pain, you feel fear and frustration about that pain. That fear signals to your brain that danger is still present. So the brain amplifies the pain signals, which increases your fear, which increases your pain, and goes round and round and round it goes and repeats itself. And here's the part that most people miss entirely. The stress and fear that fuels this cycle isn't just about pain itself. It's about how you move through life. It's the pressure you carry, the emotions you push down, the situations you tolerate but never address, the needs you put on hold. Your brain is constantly detecting threats to your safety, to your relationships, your sense of self, your sense of purpose. It stays in survival mode. And one of the ways it communicates something is wrong, slow down, pay attention, is through pain. The problem is we've been trained to look at the pain as the thing to fix. So we do the injections, the PT, and the rest. But if the brain's deeper message is your nervous system cannot downregulate, there is unresolved threat in your life, no amount of body-based treatment will turn off that alarm for good. So here's what changed everything for me, and it's what I want you to hear. If the brain learned this pain pattern through neuroplasticity, fear, and years of unaddressed stress, and all the forms that stress takes on in our lives, then it can unlearn it. The Boulder Back Pain Study proved that this isn't just a theory. 66% of people became pain-free. Brain scans showing measurable changes in how the brain processes pain, not temporarily, but even 1 year later. I reversed 4 years of chronic pain using this approach. My clients have done the same, and this channel exists to give you what I wish I had at the beginning of my journey: the education, the science, and the real talk about what it actually takes to get your life back from chronic pain. So if any of this resonated with you, subscribe, because every week I'm going deeper into the science, the tools, and exactly how to start breaking this cycle. Next week, I'm covering more on healing chronic pain, and you won't want to miss it. And if you haven't seen my channel trailer yet, it's linked right here. That will give you the full picture of who I am and what this channel is about. I'll see you next week.